So today we're going to talk about discipline and what we do with our kids when they're naughty. And it's a difficult one sometimes, isn't it?
And I'm so not consistent, and I know that consistency is key.
Yeah, it is really hard because, I mean, it depends from day to day how tired you are. Are you on your period? You know, have you had a bad day at work? Have you had a argument with your husband or whoever?
Everything has to be right about the situation, especially with one of my boys.
I don't know.
Do I go into battle on it? Because if I'm going to discipline him over something, it needs to be worth it, because it can be a half-hour battle until I get the result that I want, which would be him apologising, him realising that he's done something wrong and feeling like
acknowledging it
again.
Yeah.
I have to have the strength to do that, but also the whole family has to have the time for me to take that one-on-one time to deal with the situation, discipline-wise. And I'm just rubbish for throwing out threats that I'm not going to be able, And it's not just me, I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. No, I've done it. And I do try and give a consequence that I am prepared to follow through on. Like, if I'm not prepared to say, well, we're not going to go to that party, I try not to use that one. But I have to go. But I have done that where I've just gone, where we've been trying to get out the door and I've just put the bags down and gone, oh, I guess we're not going then, and I know full well we're still going to go, so I shouldn't really do that. But there are times where I think, okay, well, I know which toy I'm going to confiscate, or it's going to be that treat that you said you wanted, that I said that you could have a Kinder Egg later, you're not getting it, things that I'm prepared to follow through on. And it also depends if we're at home, because if I know that it's going to result in a meltdown, I don't really want to have to deal with that in a supermarket. So
it's not even just you not wanting to deal with it. Sometimes you want to save other people having to put up with your battle somewhere public. I've done that before. I've thought, do you know what, I don't need everybody else.
But having said, but then having said that, like, I saw there was a kid in Sainsbury's the other day who was having an epic meltdown. I mean, it was incredible. It was pretty special. I was actually
me about it.
I was actually quite impressed, because I was across the other side of the street. You could hear it across the entire supermarket. And when I finally was leaving, I was walking out, and there was this mum who, bless her, still kind of had a smile on her face, because she was just like, I'm not gonna take you down.
I'm normally in tears when that
happens. She was doing really well.
I'm really sorry.
I wanted to kind of go and give her a pat on the back and just go on, girl. But I didn't want to. I thought, what if that just makes it even worse? But the kid wanted a magazine. For whatever reason, they weren't allowed the magazine, and the mum was standing her ground and saying, no, you can't have it. And every time she was trying to walk the kid away, the kid was going and
And I get that though. I don't like it when it's the I want. Yeah. And I'm gonna have a brat attack if I don't get it.
I didn't stick around to see whether it ended well. I think
it ended in a death.
Yeah. But I think that mum held her ground, and I thought, bloody well done.
My ideal, discipline wise, would be, if you said how would you like to think you always deal with a tricky situation, it would be to stay calm, to get down on the child's level, eye to eye contact, and to explain why what they're doing is not right, and to talk about how they could do it right. That would be my ideal situation, my ideal way of dealing with something.
Especially with Tilda, because I know from experience that the moment you raise a voice, you've lost. The whole thing's just fallen apart. And I do lose my
You take it into a battle situation, don't you? You shout, they're going to shout back. It's the same with people who do use physical discipline with their kids. You can expect that back. You'd be violent with a kid, and you'll get violence back.
Imagine being this small and someone this big yelling at you from above. I mean, that is a scary, scary thing. And I do always try and, I do have my moments where I want to yell at her. And I've had my moments where I felt that red mist and thought, oh God, you're being so bad. I can see why somebody ends up smacking their kid. I haven't done it, but I can see how it happens. And that's when I've had to walk away and come back and try and go, okay, let's think about this. and try and take it on in a different way. And
kids have to learn from somebody, and you know, you can't go through life behaving
however you want.
like. You know, you have to respect other people. You have to think about other people. You have to not express yourself through violence and aggression. And as a parent, like it or not, it is your job to raise those kids to the best of your ability and to try and teach them and arm them, you know, equip these kids with life skills.
Oh, and there's been so many times where I felt like I've gone to, say, the naughty step when I shouldn't have, and you know,
you've gone to the naughty step.
No, well, there has been. I went and took myself out and sat on the front step once, and I felt like I was on the naughty step. I just, because I needed that moment that you were talking about. But as in, I've gone to it as my go-to, and I shouldn't have done. It wasn't. I don't think, looking back at that situation, perhaps it warranted the naughty step. You know, it's so easy to go straight to the naughty step. I just.
But if it wasn't called the naughty step, I think naughty step in itself is not a brilliant word to use, because you're telling the kid they're doing something naughty. But I like the idea of time out step.
Yeah.
Because that way, you know, again, it's going back to this, giving yourself some time out. Think about it. I loved one of the things that one mum posted online, which was she'd made a beautiful tube of glitter stuff that used to shake, and the child would sit there and just watch all this glitter fall to the bottom, and then they could get
help them calm down.
Yeah, because they had something to focus on that wasn't that intense situation.
That's a good one. I think also for me, acknowledging when something's on me. As in
saying sorry.
And also, like, because let's say Tilda's really badly behaved because I kept her up late the night before, and she's really tired, and you know, something like that, where actually it was because I wanted to stay longer at the barbecue that I kept her awake, and now she's in a mess today. You know, I've said that to Fred before. I've just gone, you know what, this one's on us.
Yeah.
You know, don't yell at her now. It's her bedtime. We've just got to get her to bed. Let's just wipe the slate clean after this, and tomorrow's a new day. Because it's not just about kids being badly behaved. Sometimes there's legitimate reasons, and recognising it when they have got a legitimate reason. When another kid has maybe done something to them and maybe they've lashed out.
Well, quite often I get bad behaviour with the boys who've had a bad day at school, and some things happen. You know, it can be something that's just hurt them in the playground, like not having anyone to play with. They come home and their behaviour's bad, and you have to, as a mum, you know, not clamp down on the stroppy behaviour when they come home from school, but try and find out what's happened and perhaps uncover the hurty bits and deal with that, and then, you know, you're going to better your relationship with your kid.
Yeah, and they're not perfect. We're not perfect, and but you know, I think that's it. We've all got to acknowledge the fact that sometimes it's because they're 4, or because, you know,
because they're really just going through one of those phases.
Yeah, we'd love to know what you think. Are there moments where
are you strict?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty? What works for you?
What's a game changer?
Charts, work for you? What rewards work for you?
And tell us if you've got some amazing gem. Please tell us, because we need it. Leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you on the next video from Hey Mummy.